Thank you, Ramacharaka here. I have posted some material about the human species, the state of human affairs on this planet, human evolvement, personal evolution training, and the New World Order, satanic agendas, human consciousness hijacking, and the like, whatnot, etc., and so on. Now, I have heard it said that Theron, I'm not too worried about all that stuff because I believe that the human species right now, in fact, our whole planet, is taking a leap forward, is taking a leap to another dimension, taking a leap in cosmic awareness, that we are on the rise. We are on the verge of, on the cusp of ascension. So I'm not too worried about the current environment, which might be antagonistic to our betterment, our evolvement, because our evolvement is taking care of itself. All right. That is what I want to address. And that's what I am addressing right here. Okay. Let me set up an analogy for you to help make my point, which is a pretty simple one, really. Okay. A person could say, I'm not very worried about, let's say, free will, or about taking control over my own betterment in life, because cause and effect will take care of everything. If we let everything up to just cause and effect, just some natural course of cause and effect, well, then we would live our lives pretty much in the manner of a matchstick floating around in the ocean, going whichever way the current decided to take it right then. Evolvement would be a pretty slow process, or the direction that matchstick takes would be pretty much a haphazard, apparently random thing. If it were to ever strike land or strike a matchbox striker, if it could, I mean, given that it's in the water, it won't, okay. Bad analogy for that little part, but okay. If that were to ever happen, that would be rather chancy now, wouldn't it? It would be, well, just up to cause and effect. That's a matter of what's called fatalism, or the belief that fate is just what rules everything, and that's it. But that's not it, you see. Most leaps forward for us can be maximized or made most efficient or brought upon now because we decide to do our part. Because we decide to exercise our wills to do so. Because we decide to undergo the deep character changes that will facilitate, instrument, and even orchestrate such evolvements. Leave it up to chance. Leave it up to cause and effect to take place. Well, hell. It'd be a pretty slow process. It might not happen for a very long time, and it could be very slow. And some other outside force that decides to work against that happening would then have more control than would just the natural cause and effect of things, because that is an exerted, willful influence. We, I suggest, should exert our own. Now, don't you think? Screw leaving it up to just the natural course of things, or the planet is on the verge of ascending anyway. Well, when there are forces and entities and people deliberately working in a very, very organized fashion to slow down or stop or even reverse that process, I'm not so sure that the natural course of just cause and effect and, well, we're on a process of ascension anyway and consciousness evolvement anyway, I'm not so sure which one of those two is going to win, but I don't think it's going to be us. Do you get my point? Don't just sit under a rock. Get familiar with the environment in which we are trying to grow, in which we are trying to save our skins, in which we are trying to evolve, in which we are trying to establish true selfhood, in which we are trying to establish self-mastery, in which we are trying to get control over our own consciousnesses, and to get away from consciousness hijacking, play an active role in your life. For goodness sakes, don't just sit down and let it up to fate, because that is just fatalism, folks, and it doesn't get a heck of a lot done. I'm Theron Ramacharaka, and as always,